So,
Bill, when did your family acquire the property then? When did your dad?
Well, it came up for sheriff's sale, I think, in 1922, and Rice Brothers and Adams, the company that owned the store down in Myrtle Creek, they got it through sheriff's sale, and I think they had some claim against the estate anyway. And then when Rice Brothers and Adams dissolved in 1936, and they split the property up between the three partners, this was part of my dad's share. And so, 1936, that's right. And I think he was getting a little bit bored by 1939. We'd come up here and pitch a tent back up in the canyon, stay for a while.
Back behind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he was getting bored. He wanted a project, so he figured, let's build a cabin. And so we started by taking the remains of the old stable out, and heaping them up and burning them. And we got a cousin of ours, Don Roan. He came up and helped Dad, and first thing we had to do was cut all the logs. And then we borrowed a horse from Vint Donovan, an old jumbo horse, and we yarded all the logs up and piled them up right about where we are right now. And I thought that was great because I got to drive the horse.
And how old were you this time? How old were you?
Well, let's see. I was
9 or 10.
Yeah, about 10, I think. And so we let the logs dry through one winter, and they all had to be peeled, get the bark taken off, and did that by hand with a spud and with a hand axe. And then about the same time we figured on putting on a shake roof, and we found this windfall dug fir up the canyon about an 1/8 to a mile. And it was a big tree. It was almost 6 foot through at the butt. And we borrowed a Swede fiddle, big bucking saw, and we made a couple of cuts off the butt. And it was just as sound as a dollar, and being old growth and in a quiet atmosphere, it didn't have any shake or bad wood in it, so Dad figured on making the shakes out of dug fir. That's what was underneath the tin on the roof. So the next thing to do, we had to get the shake bolts down out of the canyon, so we built a Go Devil sled, which is made of a forked tree that's got a bend in it, and you just plank over the body of the sled and hook a horse to it. And so we yarded all the shake bolts down. I got to drive the horse. Now we got a visitor or somebody. And so Dad made a shake splitting vise, which is a device where you put the shake bolt in and you use one knee to hold the bolt in. And you use a froe. I'm assuming people know what a furrow is.
I actually know what one is, so most people would.
And he had a big U-wood maul to drive the furrow with. You hold the furrow handle on your one hand and whop the furrow blade with the other hand and pull, and that pops the shake loose. And that, so about the next year, I think, we started putting things up. We made the mistake of not putting enough foundation under it. We just used the boulders that were here, part of the old stable. And we got a young fellow from downtown, a friend of Dad's. His name was Roy Tempe, and he worked in Sutcliffe's garage. He was a garage mechanic. So we got him up here to help lay the logs up. And they're all laid up, and there's an 80-penny spike running down through the corners to hold things together. And we had an old stonemason by the name of Ned Crawford. He was another local character. And we got a bunch of used bricks, and that's what made the chimney up. And Dad had another old customer from the store by the name of Floyd Ziering, and he had a little 2-bit sawmill over on South Myrtle, and so he cut all the planks for the floor. And the stock for the window frames and the glass for the window frames, they all came out of Garrettson's Building Supply in Roseburg, which is still going. And our total bill of materials was right at a little bit over $200. And it took 3 years to complete the project. And of course, the thing has suffered the ravages of time. The roof got a couple of limbs through it, and so son Doug was able to get some of the metal from the old feed store in Myrtle Creek and put that on for a roof, which is still there, as you can see.
When did you do that? That must have been in the 70s, huh?
Yeah. We've got some pictures. What happened to them? They should have been in the file. I looked this morning and they weren't there.
Well, they're probably in one of the albums.
Probably.
Of the tin going up on the roof? I found some pictures recently of Doug's renovation when he put when that winter that he replaced the lower logs.
Oh, okay, yeah. We don't have pictures of that.
Yeah. Get some more pictures of that. It's kind of cool. He's not in any of the pictures. He took them, of when that was going on. And that would have been the major renovation, right? I mean, the major work on it. And that would have been the summer, or the winter, actually. I helped him peel the logs and cut the trees. And then he spent the winter